multiple colliders, and it's not like super intuitive. Like I can't tell. Well, can I? Yeah, I guess I could phase it out, but you know what? No, we're gonna change this up a little bit. We're gonna grab the melee sphere here. We're gonna make it taller. You know, we're actually gonna not make it a. We're gonna make it a box collider. And then we're gonna offset it outside of the player's colliders. So, and then the gun doesn't have a collider on it, which will probably inevitably change, but then we're going to create the X size is going to be smaller. We're going to do maybe 0.7. Move it back a little bit. Then we have to go back into our code, and instead of getting the circle collider 2D, we need to change it to a box collider. But essentially the rest of it should work the same. And now I'm going to leave this enabled for the time being because I want to check something really quick. So I flipped the character. This is sort of what I was a little concerned about. So I was hoping that that would flip with the player, but I don't actually think the player's flipping in particular. God damn it. Yeah. I'm only flipping the sprite renderer for the most part. I'm not actually flipping the entire game object. I'm not setting anything equal to 0 because that was causing an issue before. So that adds a little something else here. That adds something slight that puts a little bit of a hiccup in my easy-going plan. Now, ideally, we only want the player to be able to attack in the direction, or melee in the direction that he's facing, because if we melee both directions, it doesn't feel right to be able to like shoot somebody here and then melee somebody behind us. You know, no big deal. Because you should be punished for not looking at your own back. So what we're going to have to do is probably... I think I know what I'm going to do. We'll have to check which way the player's facing. And then we're going to create two... I guess this doesn't need to be called melee sphere anymore. Let's call it melee hitbox. Okay. So... we're going to probably make 2 of these. So I'll make 2 of these. And we'll be able to melee then in both directions, and then we just have to get which way the player's facing. So now theoretically I remove the condition for the game collider. Let's see if these both have the... Yeah. They both got them. So if I turn off the box collider by default on both of these, when I re-enable them here, create an empty object. We're going to make it the parent of those two melee game objects. Like that. And that game object we're going to just call melee attack. And then inside the melee attack, we're going to put our melee attack script. And the melee attack script is going to control both hitboxes. So what we end up needing to do is, what the fuck? What we end up having to do is essentially create a couple game object variables. And we're going to make hitbox right, and we're going to make hitbox left, because then we can actually control both of them individually. Should reload here in a second. There we go. So, alright, that's hitbox right and hitbox left, which I will rename and go from there. So what I want to do now is make sure that they're both enabling right. So we're going to do we need two colliders now for hitbox right and hitbox left. So once we have those two, you know what? Let's see what the problem is. We have to get the individual colliders here. Once we get the individual colliders, then, oh, what the fuck? Bad typos. I just switched over from my wired keyboard to my wireless, so that's kind of fucking me up a little bit. The keys are a lot different. So with that, oh, yeah, there's no light there. That's okay. So we want the collider hitbox right. Shit. Hitbox right. We want that to get the box collider from the hitbox right. I know you guys can't see the code, unfortunately, but that's okay. And then we want to do the same thing for hitbox left. And we'll, I mean, you could basically just copy and paste this. But we'll get the collider for hitbox left and hitbox right. And that allows us to leave the game objects. You know what? Because we're using a parent object to control everything, we may not actually even need the colliders, to be honest. I'm gonna disable the colliders for the time being. And I'm actually just going to set the game object to inactive. We'll leave the box colliders on them active. And then we'll actually set each of their hierarchy objects, their game objects, to inactive. Because then theoretically, we should be able just to call hitbox right, and then we'll just dot set active and set that to true. And then that should enable the hitbox right and the hitbox left, because we're going to actually just test both of them for the sake of making sure it still works after the adjustments have been made. Obviously, our yields aren't going to work the same any longer, so we will... Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you now? No, you're good. So, now, when we press our test button, yeah, let's try one more time, because I was on one of the child objects. Boom. Cool. So now we can wait for seconds on that, and we can just re-enable them. By just doing set active again. I always find the development videos are a lot easier to watch when you can speed them up, like pre-edited, because there's a lot of just trial and error that I'll do as I go along and find better ways to do things, or come into bugs and solve them, or things not working exactly how I think they're gonna work. Boom. So there we go. So now we should be able to, let's actually go down here to the players. There we go. And if I come over to this guy, so I gotta use a controller to move the characters, never remapped it back to. Oh, derp. That's not gonna work properly if they're not triggers. So that's the wrong one. Alright. Shit. Oh, fuck me. That's the problem. Can't call it on there. these all have to have just a little script for develop it for me. Thank you. That should take care of that. We drop one on there. The shit. Come on. Drop one on there. Drop one on there. Call it a day. Then we come down. Derp, derp, derp. Lots of derps going on here. Yeah, there we go. So now, we get triggered, then we hit the player. So, once that's done, this script is going to stay relatively the same for the melee hit trigger. The actual melee attack, however, is going to have to do a couple different things. First of which, we're going to have to get the player. So, let's get the player properties for the specific player that is our parent object. Once we do that, once we do that, I'm pretty sure in player properties I ended up making player movement. I feel like I get, okay. Okay, so what we do is if we hit the check, then we say if we get the players facing fuck off, is that not public? Oh, that's why. Fuck me. Grab the wrong properties. I guess I could actually... No. I don't actually need that. I'm just gonna leave that get component in there. So it's plat. Some of this shit in here that I don't need. try something because I don't really know what this is gonna do. It might break some shit. Alright, I think I got it figured out. Just need to move some of this stuff over. So there's one thing that drives me nuts, it's having code that's not, yeah, it doesn't look right, not all indented properly. So, get everything moved over. Along. This is probably going to be a temporary fix because I'm not particularly okay with this. Then we do the same thing here, but we're going to get the other components. That should take care of that. So, if that comes back true, that means the player is facing right. Then, that comes back false, then that means the player is facing left. Then we can basically just start the coroutine. So, derpy derpy derp derp derp. Okay, so we get the player's facing direction. Let's highlight that. Let's see. So now that the player's facing left, we should just go bloop. That does that. That bloop. 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 Okay. Cool. That's a good start for me tonight. I'm gonna hop off and take it from there. Catch you guys next time.